Liverpool are 9 points off the top, and it's a very scary situation for Arsenal and a lot of other teams to be in. So you're probably looking at the title of this video and you're probably thinking to yourself, why am I even doing a video talking about Liverpool Football Club and even Mohamed Salah? And the answer to that question is, you know what? I looked at the situation of what's been going on at Liverpool recently and I thought it was quite interesting, and it was something that I wanted to talk about. With Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold and whoever else that's been at Liverpool for so long, those players are on the last year of their contract, and as well as Liverpool have been doing this season, it's going to be very difficult and strange to see what happens the following season, especially when all of these players are in danger of leaving the club after this season. Very recently, after a win that Liverpool has had at the Premier League, Mohamed Salah had an interview where he effectively said he's more out than in, and that Liverpool Football Club haven't given him a contract yet, especially that we are now approaching halfway through the season. Carragher came in and he responded. He said that he was disappointed with Mohamed Salah. He said that Liverpool have had given him a contract, but there's been a big disparity between what Mohamed Salah wants and what Liverpool want to give. And there's been a lot of controversy because of this between the fans, the club, the players, and as an Arsenal fan looking into all of this, I'm quite happy to see all of this. We've been begging and waiting for Liverpool to have a drop-off. Liverpool have been doing absolutely fantastic this entire season, being 9 points off the top, especially having their new manager and getting that new manager bounce with Arne Slot. And with Arne Slot even coming in and saying that he has Salah more in than out and trying to make a whole joke of the situation. And there's been a lot of drama because of it. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, I want Arsenal to get on top of the Premier League and get any advantage Arsenal can against Liverpool, against City, against whoever else, so that Arsenal can hopefully finally win the Premier League at the end of the season after 20 or so odd years. But the thing is, if I were to take my Arsenal hat off and just look at Liverpool, I can understand both sides of the situation. And I can understand why Liverpool fans would be upset, and I can also understand why Salah is completely and utterly justified in what he's saying. So from one side, as a Liverpool fan, and from Carragher's perspective, he is right. Liverpool are on top of the Premier League. They're about to face Real Madrid, and with the timing of it all, with how everything is going perfectly well, you can argue it's the wrong time for Salah to come out and talk about his contract situation, especially when everything is going well. And as a Liverpool fan, especially with how the current season is going, you want things to be going smoothly, and this could put a spanner in the works. And I can completely, utterly, wholeheartedly understand that from a Liverpool's perspective, from the fans' perspective anyway, and especially from Carragher's perspective. And he also said that it was quite selfish as well and quite egoistic, and maybe you can even say arrogant as well, especially from some of the comments made from Liverpool fans and pundits and etc. Now, from Salah's perspective, from my own perspective as well, I will lean towards Mohamed Salah's side, because here's the thing, right? I've seen Mohamed Salah for the last 7, 8, 9 years, as well as so many other people. And if we were to look at Liverpool before he came and when he arrived as well, out of all the great players that Liverpool have had over the last decade, Virgil van Dijk, Sadio Mane, Wijnaldum, Trent, Robertson, Alisson, and whoever else that's even been there, the spearhead of that entire squad of players, the main talisman of all of those guys, is Mohamed Salah. He has been Liverpool's most consistent player over the last decade and Liverpool's best player over the last decade. You can argue Virgil van Dijk as well, but if we were to look at from the offensive side, the attacking side of things, then who else other than Mohamed Salah? You can make the argument for Mane as well, and I love Mane as a player. He's absolutely fantastic, but we can all clearly see that they preferred Salah over Mane because Salah was the more important player, and he was ultimately the better player because he had broken so many records. He's been nearly about to be top 10 in assists in the Premier League and arguably top 10 in goal scoring. He may even go up to top 5 depending on how long he stays in the Premier League as well. So that shows how much he's been able to do for Liverpool, and especially in the Premier League over the last 7, 8, 9 years. Therefore, as a player and as a person, as somebody who has been at Liverpool for as long as he has, for somebody that has managed to achieve more than what previous Liverpool players have been able to achieve over the last couple of decades. He ultimately won the Premier League, Champions League, all the trophies you could possibly win. And guys like Alonso, Mascherano, Gerrard, Torres, Suarez, Sturridge, like a lot of these guys weren't able to win the Premier League. And I remember that was something that was extremely important for Liverpool fans. And who was able to win the Prem? These crop of players. And who was the one at the top of those crop of players? Mohamed Salah. So for him to come out and have that interview, albeit I understand why people may not be happy with the interview, but if you were to compare this interview, say, with Cristiano Ronaldo's interview, this is far and few between. And I would say that Mohamed Salah is completely and utterly justified, and he isn't wrong with what he said, because ultimately, what did he say? He said, at this moment in time, Liverpool haven't given me a contract, therefore I'm more out than in. Therefore, I'm going to have a high chance of leaving Liverpool at the end of the season compared to staying. Because if Liverpool haven't given him a contract, then what else is he supposed to say? I can't think of anything else that Mohamed Salah can say, because ultimately he just said things from what is on his side. And he said it's not up to him, it's down to the agents and the club and whatever. Therefore, I think this is a very smart way for Liverpool and FSG to sort of put more pressure on Mohamed Salah. But you see, the thing is, I'm a guy that looks in between these things. I'm a person that can look through the noise and move out the BS, and can see that if you really want to put the finger towards anybody, then put it on FSG and put it on Liverpool Football Club. Because at the end of the day, as Carragher said, he's amongst the likes of Gerrard, Souness, Dalglish, Rush, Fowler, and Salah's up there. You can put him in the top 3, top 5, however ranking Liverpool fans want to put him in, but ultimately he, in this generation of players anyway, he is right there at the very top with Virgil van Dijk, you could say, as well. Therefore, for Mohamed Salah, for him to say the things that he's saying, he is completely justified and he's right. It's not being egoistic. If you were to look at everything he's done in the past, and not just in the past, especially for this season, why are they top? They are top because of a large amount of it due to Mohamed Salah, and that's just being the absolute truth. There's no other if, buts or maybes about it. We're only talking in absolutes, and Mohamed Salah is absolutely Liverpool's best player offensively this season as well. And don't get me wrong, especially with the players nowadays, guys like Lewandowski, Ronaldo, Messi, a lot of players have been going to their late 30s, and with the way that Salah is, I don't see why he can't also go into his late 30s as well. As an Arsenal fan, I don't want that. I want him to get out of the Premier League as soon as possible and go to Saudi Arabia and just chill there, because I want Arsenal to win the Premier League, and the less competition the better. But taking that to the side, I believe Salah is absolutely justified, and he hasn't said anything wrong in my opinion. He just stated facts. Now, whether or not Carragher knows what's going on behind the scenes, whether he's part of the Liverpool setup and whether they gave a contract or not, and him saying that Liverpool will move on, look, Liverpool have moved on from various teams, various players, but Salah, you can tell he's a player that Liverpool have been waiting for a long time, and it will be extremely difficult to replace a player like that, especially since he's top 10 in Premier League goals, top 10 nearly in assists. I think he's a couple away from beating Beckham's record on the rankings for that. So Liverpool got to give him the respect he deserves, and if I were a Liverpool fan, I'll be pointing the finger at FSG saying, hey, why aren't you guys signing his contract yet? But obviously it's a difficult situation, especially with Virgil van Dijk and Trent. So for them, they're going to have to wait and see what happens there. Like I said, as an Arsenal fan, the more drama, the more controversy, the more things that happen behind the scenes because of it. If other players were to come to Salah and say, hey, why are you talking about this right now? We got games to play, blah blah, this and that, and they're causing some controversy behind the scenes. As an Arsenal fan, I'm happy. What can I say? So if there's more interviews that come about from Van Dijk and Trent and whoever else is on the last year of their contract, for me, that's a fantastic thing, because right now we need Liverpool to drop points. But overall, that's my thoughts on it. I don't think Salah was wrong. I understand where Carragher and some Liverpool fans are coming from as well, but if you really want to end this whole saga or this whole controversy that's going on, then you just got to pay the money and give them the contracts. But with the history of FSG, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. But anyhow, let's see what happens with Liverpool. Hopefully they drop points, and let's see if Arsenal can get ahead. Anyhow, hope to see you all in the next video. Bye bye.